I'm on my way to work currently. I'm in traffic, so I figured I'd make a little, just a little, like, I guess, video journal? Vlog, if you will. Obviously things are fucked up in the world right now. Specifically in Palestine. And even in the midst of all this and having like regular breakdowns pretty much daily, just thinking about all the children and of course like the families and just the fucking people, but especially the children, spending most of my days with children. It's like, I don't know, it's just insane to think that these kids in Palestine are exactly the same as the kids that are on my school bus every day. And these are innocent little babies that don't know about the world. But at the same time, they know a lot. But, anyway, that's been kind of the undertone and at times the overtone of my, past couple weeks here. Another thing I've been kind of tripping out on is this idea, and this has been coming to me as I make more of an effort to establish daily routines and such. There's this thing where, like, I mean, this is probably obvious, but maybe it's not, but the thing that you commit your time to is the thing that grows and changes. And when you put energy into something, it becomes more, right? This is obvious in art, where, you know, if you have an empty canvas on an easel and you don't commit time to finishing or starting the painting, then nothing comes from it. But if you commit even an hour a day to working on this painting, eventually you finish the painting and it's a beautiful thing that you created. I think that, like, there's something that a lot of creative people struggle with, or at least something that I struggle with, that I've talked to some friends about that are creative. I don't want to call it paralysis, because I think that's much too strong of a word and also not necessarily accurate. But basically what I'm talking about is this thing where when you have a thing that you do, whether it be creativity or something else, when you have a thing that you do that when you commit your time in your life to it, it changes your life. It can be intimidating to dedicate time to it, especially if you are, I don't know, someone that struggles with, for example, imposter syndrome, which I have certainly struggled with without even really knowing that's what was happening. But anyway, yeah, it can be difficult. Like, for example, my music has changed my life in, like, some of the most insane ways, like in unbelievable ways, where the people that I have met, the connections that I have made, the places that I have gone, the things that I have done, and the repercussions of all of those things when it has to do with music, beyond anything else that I commit my time to, music has changed my life in crazy and amazing ways. Like, the most wild things. And I wouldn't trade literally any of it. And like, it's all fucking awesome. And I literally like making music. And I, like, love playing shows and just the whole thing. Like, I love doing it. It's something I'm extremely passionate about, obviously. But there's this thing that I've been encountering in myself where, as I'm trying to establish a routine, because I bought a house a couple months ago, and I have been just trying to establish a daily routine in the new space and organizing the space in a way where it makes choosing a routine easy because it's built into the spaces, if that makes sense. As I'm trying to figure out a routine, I'm realizing that my relationship to practicing my music has been quite a strained one over the years, and I have actively been avoiding practicing my music. And so I will play a show, like I played a show a couple weeks ago with Warriors, and I fucked up. I fucked up so bad on this one song. I was literally in silence for 30 seconds trying to remember the lyrics, and it was so awkward. I couldn't believe it when I watched it back. I thought it was only 10 seconds, but I think that my panic in that moment made it seem like a much shorter time than it actually was. It was 30 seconds of silence. After that, I was like, okay, well, this is mostly just funny because I need to practice more, but it also really helped me to kind of check my priorities, because it's this is something that if I were to fully lean into making music, shit would just transform around me. And that has been evident. Earlier this year in 2023, I actually had this idea last year to make a band called Larval State. And I was I want to have several members. I want it to be kind of psychedelic and crazy. And I just brought it up to my friends. I was here's the band, here's what you would play in the band. And then I had to book a show for my friend Kurt's band. They're from Olympia. They're called Secret. I had to book a show, and I was look, this show is a month out. Let's start this band. Let's do it. I'm ready. And everyone did it, and we had, a few band practices, and then now we're a band, and we've been playing shows since April. And I just kind of leaned into this creative way of being, this spontaneous, compulsive creativity. And in turn, now all of my friends are in a band, and I get to hang out with them even more because we play music together and we have a shared creative project, which is so beautiful. But I just did that on a whim. And I guess I think that while the spontaneity is extremely fun, there's also this aspect of it that is not spontaneous, where we had to schedule practices and we had to learn songs, and all of that stuff is super fun, and it's actually the thing that makes it happen is the practicing, because without the practice it wouldn't have happened. And I guess I've been thinking about when I was a teenager and I was doing the online homeschooling, and I had all this time in the world to be making music, and how it was truly all I would do. I would hang out with friends, and I'd go home and work on writing songs. And to an extent that's still true, but really writing songs has become much more spontaneous for me. And the practicing is something that, since it's only me, it's a solo project, I'm the one who has to be accountable in the situation. With Larval State, it's we're all friends. We have a shared Discord, friend group chat. And, we decide, hey, anyone free for practice this week? And then we all work together to practice. Whereas when it's me, I'm the one who has to be accountable to myself to make time to practice. And I think that ultimately what this comes down to is an unwillingness to show up for myself and to choose things that I know will enrich my life and transform my life in crazy ways. I'm wondering if there's a part of this that is intimidating because I have a job and a kind of normal life right now. But it's I don't know. I would leave all of this behind if it meant, well, not all of this. I would leave my job. I would willingly leave my job behind if it meant that I could pursue music full time and actually just do this. And if I could truly just commit myself to creativity, I would do that. And I'm wondering if, and that was kind of why I made a Patreon actually in the first place, because I was well, I'm going to do this stuff anyway. I'm going to create anyway. I should make a place where I could share these things with people who appreciate me as an artist. And I guess what I'm thinking is maybe the way out of, not that I need a way out, there is no need for an escape, but maybe the way out of having a normal job and not necessarily doing the things I'd like to do with my art is to commit myself fully to it. right? Makes sense. Like, the thing is, I'm not saying anything crazy right now. All of this is probably highly logical. But for someone that has a lot of responsibilities, has to, pay a house payment and do other things, it's like, and get so carried away in everyday mundane life, it's like not obvious to me. Because I've got so much going on that I'm like, okay, well, I got to pay this bill, so I got to do this and that, and then I got to do this, and then we're going to paint this room, and then we got to do that. It's like juggling all of these things. I'm actually very good at juggling all of these like adult things and the responsibilities and stuff. The thing that I'm struggling with is juggling all of that and making time, and in fact, like dedicating real time to my creative projects. And to myself, in turn, like nurturing myself. You know what I mean? So, I just made it to work. Here's an 11-minute vlog about transformation and self and passion and all that. Yep, here I am at the bus yard. Let's commit ourselves to the things that we fucking love and to the things that constantly change our lives so that we might be able to live a life that we're proud of.